welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is going to be a really fun altered project with some Dollar Tree notepads, and I'm super excited to show you this. I am calling these chunkier notepads because a few years ago I did chunky notepads with these same little writing tablets that you can get at Dollar Tree, and these are going to be even chunkier. So this is super easy, and it's a really fun project that you can do as favors or craft fair items, and you can customize them with whatever you want. Today I'm using the Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams paper because I got these 4 colors right here from the Dollar Tree, and I thought it went really well with the Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams. So let me just show you a close-up of what they look like. These are just $1 at the Dollar Tree. They're the mini writing tablets, and there's 5 little tablets in there. And so I got the pink one, I got this beautiful sky blue color, and then yellow and like a mint green. So I love these things. I use them at work all the time. And then here's the one that I have already made. So let me zoom in and show this to you. These were such good sellers at my craft fair a few years ago, and I haven't made them since. But I have multiple ideas for these little notepads that I've done in the years past, and I'm sure a lot of you have already seen those videos, but I'll link all of them below. One of my favorites is called pocket notepad holders, and those are probably my favorite project that I've made with these. But I've also made Notepad Stacks, I think I called them, and then of course the chunky notepads. So let me just show you what we're going to be making. I just simply embellished this one. It kind of reminds me of like a book cover. I used a Maggie Holmes sticker label right there. There's what it looks like on the side and the back. I used paper out of this collection here, and this is just what it looks like. It's all covered, and it's even lined on the inside. And then here is all the pretty paper. So I don't cover these little chipboard pieces in between because then it gets really bulky, but I just love how this is so chunky and so handy and sturdy. And you can pretty much use these as Christmas favors, stocking stuffers. You can make little fall gratitude notebooks with these. I like using the pretty paper and make it look like a vintage, like a Jane Austen book or something. But we're going to be decorating these a little bit different than this. So I think I'm going to make 2 on camera here, and depending on what paper I pick, that's what color notepad we'll use. So all you need for this project is 1 single-sided piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Okay, so let's see. I'm not going to do another blue one, so I'm going to set that aside. So we've got pink, yellow, and that mint green. So I for sure want to do the pink. And I have this paper here. So this is the Maggie Holmes. Again, this is the Maggie Holmes Chasing Dream, and it's single-sided. Ooh, I really love this one right here. I think I'm going to use this one right here. Oh my goodness, look at this yellow one. So let me choose these 2. Maybe we'll do the pink and the yellow. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this notepad prepped. So I'm just going to take it out of the plastic, and we're going to do one little quick thing before it's all ready to go. So when I made these a few years ago, the chunky notepads, I made them using 3 layers of this notepad. So I took those off and I used 3 layers. Well, I was like, why not use 4? Today we're going to use 4. That's why they're the chunkier notepads. And all you do is you find the first piece of chipboard. So the back already has chipboard, perfect for adhering paper. So then you're going to find on the front just the first piece. So this does not have chipboard behind it, and that's where you want to tear it off. So I'm going to show you what you can do with these at the end of the video. I'm going to tell you about some ideas, but I'll show you what I do as well. But that'll come at the end of the video. So now we have this, it's all ready to go. Super chunky. We've got 4 layers of notepads in there, and they're all glued together. So put this aside for a second, and I'm going to show you how to cut the paper down. So for the paper, you are just going to need 1 strip that measures 3.5 by 12. So this is already 12 inches. I'm just going to put it in here at 3.5. In my paper, it doesn't matter which way it's facing, so I'm just gonna cut it like this. So, and then you're gonna need 2 pieces that measure 3.5 by 5. So I'm gonna move this to 3.5 again. This is just a scrap that you have left over. And then cut 2 pieces at 5 inches, so they end up being 3.5 by 5. So now we've got all the paper we need to make one of these. 3.5 by 12 and 2 pieces that measure 3.5 by 5. Okay, so we're gonna do this without a scoreboard, and it's really easy. You're gonna take your notepad and find where the top is, which is where the glue is at, and eyeball the center to where when you fold it over like this and bring it like this, these 2 edges are even. So now I've got this pretty even. These 2 edges are about even. Now that you have it even, hold it where it's at, and you're gonna take your finger and press your fingers together and make your own score line up here where that paper meets that edge. So now you've made like your own crease. Alright, so now we have this score line we just made. Hope that you can see that right there. So take your notepad again, glue side on the top, and meet that score line. Make sure you're even on all sides, and then pull this up and bring it around. So just kind of hold it in place and get it as even as you can. And then you're gonna squeeze this again on this side. So now you can kind of take the notepad out. So now you've got 2 score lines in the right spot. You could put this in your scoreboard and score in 5 inches, turn it around and score in 5 inches. But because these are Dollar Tree, they're unpredictable if they're exactly 5 inches and 5 inches. That's why I do it that way. Plus, if you don't have a scoreboard, you can always do this project. So the next thing you do is just take some adhesive of your choice, and you're gonna cover from this bottom score line down, and you're gonna cover this entire panel. So be pretty generous with it. And I'm using these little tape rollers that I love from scrapbook.com, and I will try to link them below if they're available. They were out of stock. So make sure you get right up against that score line, but we're gonna use some different tape up here that's stronger. Okay, so now that you have that all sticky, grab some red line tape or Scor tape. I'm using Scor tape, it's my favorite, but by all means, if you do not have any of those 2 tapes, just use your tape runner. It's gonna be fine. But I like to have extra security and extra strong glue up there, just because this is the glued part and it's like a shiny plastic texture, and so it's a little bit harder to stick. So that's why I use Scor tape, and Scor tape is really strong. It's like my favorite adhesive, and I just want to get this little middle panel filled with Scor tape. And that's pretty much 2 pieces of the 1/4 inch Scor tape. So I'll link this below. I always stay stocked up on my Scor tape. It's great for mini albums and all kinds of crafting. So I'm gonna take my bone folder and burnish it down so it's really nice and glued down into the fibers of the paper. So I'm not gonna take the backing off just yet. And just take the top where the glue is, meet that edge at the bottom of this score line that we made, and just lay this on that glue. So you wanna really line it up straight at the top, and my tip to you is to line it up at the top and the left side. So if you're even at the top and at the left side, all the way down to the bottom of the notepad, you can just line it up and let go. And that should be pretty perfectly lined up. So then I just like to turn to the last page and gently burnish this down. You don't want to rip anything or separate this from the paper. Be very careful right in here, but you do want to burnish this down. And then you've got this little excess with glue on it. So all you're going to do there is just make sure you're pretty even. Take your thumbs and bend it up like this. And then you're simply going to glue that and bring it around. And that makes you have a really nice finished edge. Instead of like exposed chipboard right there, you have a nice folded edge now. And we're going to be covering this in just a minute. Okay, so there is our front cover. And now you just need to turn this around so you can work with it better and fill this entire panel with adhesive. Okay, so that has glue all over it. I'm going to remove the backing off of this Scor tape. And for this, you need to get this really straight, and you're going to make it really straight across the top there. And pull it tight as you go. Make sure it's lined up here at this edge. And I can already tell mine's going to be a little bit off, but we'll work with it. So you're going to line it up and press this down right here. We're going to get it pressed down even better in just a minute. And then bring this all the way around. Line it up with this edge. Pull it pretty tight, but not too tight that you rip it. So now we've got that all straight and laid down. And only thing left to do is burnish this, but first I want to fold over this excess piece again like we did on the other side. And there we go, we just did the front cover. Super pretty, right? I love how these turn out. So now this top here needs to be burnished with your bone folder. So just kind of press it down, don't rip the paper or anything. But just kind of take your bone folder and press it down so it doesn't come up. And this is what we have so far. We have this covered, and then we have the back covered. So now all we need to do is cover our inside covers. So we have these two pieces. I'm just going to line them up. I'm just going to cut the little tiniest sliver off the top of both of these. Like the teeniest, tiniest little sliver. Just like that. And you are going to glue this piece down right in here to cover that chipboard. But because the reason we took a sliver off is because I don't want you to push this so far into the crevice right here that this is now obstructed when you try to close it. You're going to bring it down a little bit from the top and have a little bit of the chipboard, just a teeny strip exposed, and then you're going to glue it down. So just fill this with adhesive. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to start at the top, so I leave a little tiny, like 1/16 of a strip free from that fold, and lay it down. It should be a perfect fit because we took that little sliver off. And then just burnish it down. And now the inside is all covered and pretty. How beautiful is that? So now we have that all covered and the inside covered. And now we just have to do the back right here. Okay, we're all done covering our notepad. Wasn't that super easy? So there's that. We have all the paper here. And then we got the inside cover all aligned. And there's the back. So now the last thing to do is just decorate this. This is such a fun project where you could use a bunch of scrapbook paper, and you can use up a ton of like the 3x4 cut aparts. Also have this cut apart sheet. And I think I want to use this, honestly. And I really love this. Dreams are for chasing. I think I'm going to use that one. So I cut this out of that cut apart sheet. And it's just so pretty. I love that quote. And easy. You just glue it down right here on the front. It totally brings this to life and makes it so cute. I love the faux masking tape down there. It has like a little vintage feel to it. So super easy. Just glue this down. So our chunky notepad is all done. I think it's so pretty. Turned out so adorable. All that beautiful pink paper. And then our back cover all finished. This would make such a cute gift for somebody. Imagine doing this with a bunch of Christmas paper. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and make the yellow one now, but I'll set that one to music and I'll be right back. Okay friends, I hope that you enjoyed this fun little project with Dollar Tree notepads and beautiful scrapbook paper. I absolutely loved how these turned out. I think the yellow one's my favorite and this blue one is just so pretty, and of course the one we did here on video, I love this as well. Here's the beautiful pink paper and the yellow and the blue. So this was a lot of fun. I love making these. I want to mass produce them now and make them for craft fairs and things like that. I would love to give these to like friends at work. So I told you here at the end that I'd tell you what you could do with this leftover paper. What I do is I just make a bunch of these. I think I made like 30 the last time I made these. And I made a bunch of Notepad wallets. And if you haven't seen that video, it's something I came up with to use the excess little notepads. And I'll link it right here for you, and I'll also link it at the end. But something else that I've been doing is I just get a bunch of these, and they, you know, come in all these different colors, and I end up with, you know, one little bunch of each color, and I'll just tie it with like some seam binding, and I'll give somebody at work the bundle of notepads, because at work we use so many little message pads and things like this. I think it's fun accumulating a bunch of colors of these and then giving them as a gift. And to be honest, I have a huge stack of these at my office and I go through them like crazy. So that's an idea as well. Or you can make the Notepad wallets, and the tutorial will be linked. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I just wanted to say thank you again for all of your support. I cannot even put into words how appreciative I am for each and every one of you giving me a like on Instagram, thumbs up on a YouTube video, just watching my YouTube video, commenting, just your sweet words, and all the way up to buying me a coffee. I just can't thank you enough ever. So I hope to be putting out a lot more videos coming up. The holidays are coming up. Yes, I know we're only in June, but us crafters, we have to start thinking about craft fair things and all kinds of stuff. So it's the best part of the year, and I'm excited to share a lot of videos and ideas with you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you again. All the links will be in the description below. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you again for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.